guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. As some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Changeling Tale, Jessie's Rejection Path. That's right, y'all. We're doing the Rejection Paths because we're mean. And we're gonna break some hearts. But yeah, anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm saying you are up. Let's go. Alright. Yes, I knew all too well. I take her hand in mine, both of us tipsy from food, drink, and good company. Let's have this moment here. Grandmother pulls me close again, and holds me the way Mum used to. I don't know if I could ever bear leaving this table. We laugh, we cry, we stay up late into the night. Oh. Get that music. Yes. Hope you all are having a lovely, wonderful day. It is quite overcast here, and my partner has had a horrible, horrible migraine today, probably because of the change in barometric pressure. Anyway, speaking of pressure, that tea kettle is going to explode. I wake up to the sound of a kettle coming to a boil. The sun is yet to fully rise, but I can smell the tea brewing and something fresh baked. It's a challenge getting myself up out of bed. The goose-down quilt, even with its bare threads, is so warm and comfortable. I've not slept so well since the last time I slept here. This was my room growing up. It's hardly recognizable now. My old things have long since been stowed, who knows where. It's mostly empty save for some odds and ends. I finally will myself out from under the covers, throw on some proper clothes, and head into the common room.
Good morning, young man. I've biscuits on the hearth and potted eggs on the table, fresh cream in the pitcher, sugar cubes in the jar.
Thank you so much, Gran. I give her a good morning embrace, and she squeezes me tightly again. An impressive and gentle vice grip. When she steps back, she is suddenly all business.
Now, I've already fed Hazel her breakfast. Once the dishes are done, I'll go tend to the herd and clean the table.
Gran, why don't you let me take care of all that? You don't need to run the farm all by yourself anymore. She sighs and shows her stubborn streak.
It's not in me to ask for help. Times are hard and everyone has enough to worry about already. I don't want to burden anyone. Not even you. If this farm becomes too much for us to handle, it's always an option to give it up, to sell and join your mother and father in the city.
Nonsense, this is your home. We'll make it work. So how about it? Sergeant Malcolm Campbell reporting for duty.
Well then, soldier. I suppose we could use some things for this week. Perhaps you might go to the market for me today.
It's a start. A wink and nod towards my breakfast. Better eat fast then, if I'm to beat the crowds. I chew and guzzle until the empty plate rattles, and the cup and pot have not one drop left.
You're an angel, Malcolm.
Laughing, I stand up, shoulder over an old overcoat of Granddad's, and give Gran a peck on the forehead. And don't you forget it. I'll be back soon, Gran. I set off across the meadow to the stable. My boots lose their footing a few times, and the wet mud and mist still setting in the air. Outside, the sun is cresting the hill across the loch. It is edged with pink, and I find myself muttering the ancient rhyme. Red sky at night, shepherd's delight. Red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Passing the herd, I can hear cuds chomping, and droopy lips braying. Gran told me we hold 36 head of cattle, but from here I can only count 20 or so. Is there count off, or was it just a wee bit of reassurance through exaggeration? Opening the stable door is harder than I remember. I steel myself and try to get a grip on the damp wood. As the door slides open, I see Hazel standing impatiently in her stall. I'm reminded of the difficulty Gran and I had stabling her before we retired last night. Morning, my grumpy friend. How was your first night's stay at Chateau de Campbell? She snorts, poor Hazel. Now in the light I can see the drafty old stables in much worse shape than the homestead. Sunlight beams through the countless holes in the rafters, patching the barn's roof, yet another chore to prioritize. No finer accommodations for miles. Don't you worry, we'll take care of this place together. It'll be shipshape soon enough. Her head rolls dramatically as she flicks the mane off her eyes. She apparently isn't amused, but I can't help but laugh. Oh, come on now, it's not that bad. Now, let's get you hitched up to the cart. It's market day today, and we've got a lot to pick up. Hazel nudges my chin with her velvety muzzle. I nestle into it, my hands and arms reach instinctively to her cold head. 1 second, y'all. It is water time. Yeah. There we go. I hold my creature, listen to her nicker onto my chest, watch billows of her breath float in the frigid air, and smell the damp hay in the stable. Then her head buckles back in a plucky toss, nearly knocking me to the ground. So that's how it's going to be, eh, Miss Hazel? So be it. A strong woman has never bothered me. Off to train her. The dusty line and chambrere are on the wall right where Grandad left them years ago. A little obedience training later couldn't hurt. I remember the drill manual was issued in section on horse discipline. It worked well enough for all the good it did us once we were dismounted and dug in. One line read, "There is naturally no ill-tempered or vicious horse. The vices of horses are to be attributed wholly to the cruelty with which they are treated." Who was your owner before me, anyway? He must have been a bright meanie. Now fret not, Miss Hazel. Those days are behind you. We'll get you trained properly in no time. Hazel nazed defiantly, as if daring me to try. I was never one to back down from a challenge, I think as I carefully fastened her saddle. Come on now, let's have none of that. Time to get on the road. Alright. Hazel is none too thrilled about towing the small cart, but she only bucks a few times on the ride to town, so I consider it a success. Yeah, boy. Alright. The square is already bustling with activity when we arrive. It's the only market this side of the loch. People have flocked from all corners of the vale to stock up on supplies. The morning air is full of sounds of animal carts, women quibbling over prices, children fighting or screaming with delight, and old men drunk on early beers and life. I tie my mare to a post and dive into the fray. My first stop is the millinery booth, since I realize I don't have a proper hat to wear out in public or in the fields. Glancing down at the milliner's wares, it suddenly dawns on me who was standing behind the cart. Oh, hello again!
Hi there!
What a pleasant surprise to see you again. She fidgets with the hat a bit, burrows her hands into her coat pockets and blushes.
You as well. Are you looking to buy a hat?
Yes, I was looking to get something sharp. Do you have any recommendations?
Well, the flat caps seem to be popular.
Comfortable.
I would say so.
What about the one you've got?
Oh, this was custom made.
Does fit you quite well. Her blush deepens even further.
Thanks. You know you'd look good in the green one, I think. It matches your eyes.
Then that is the one for me. I try on the green wool cap, placing it right atop my head. It's a wonderful
fit.
I have to agree. It's very comfortable. I hope it looks as good as it feels.
That it does.
I start fumbling around for some pocket change and a few coins spill loose on the ground. It takes an effort to bend down and scoop them up. My back protests from yesterday's long ride. You know, I don't think I've had a chance to properly introduce myself. My name's Malcolm. And my name's Murdoch. It's a right fine cap you picked out there. Yours for just 5 shillings. The gruff voice makes me jump. Standing and turning back to the stall, I see the girl is gone. In her place is an older gentleman. Hello, yes, this will be the one, please. I'd like to thank the girl who works here for her suggestion. As he pockets my coins, he scrunches his bearded face into a puzzled expression. You begging your pardon, lad. What girl? She was right here just a moment ago. I gaze across into the pool of market-goers, and while I don't see the girls hat-bobbing among them, I do spot a few recognizable faces. A golden blonde with oval glasses stands out in the crowd. I believe it to be my childhood teacher, although she doesn't look a day older than I remember. The cheesemonger, on the other hand, is just as old as I remember. His grizzled hands are barely strong enough to cut the wheel, and his eyebrows are so long I can't even fathom how he sees. And there is a withered boy hawking newspapers out of a woven basket. He's grown from a tiny young one into a sickly-looking boy, poor lad. I'm hesitant to approach any of these folk from years past. Who's to say they know who I am anymore? I dare say I hardly know myself. Then I see a young woman, arms piled high with groceries, cloth and assorted sundries, moving through the crowd with a purpose. Her arms tremble under the weight. Instinctively, I reach out to catch a sack of flour before it hits the ground.
Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry.
Not the problem. I wouldn't want you to lose that. 1 second, y'all. It is water time. No, Grace, this is not your run. I mean, Marion, this is not your run. The teetering stack is stable again for now. She manages to produce a smiling frown, ripe with humor, dismay, and impatience.
Thanks. I usually have help on market day, but my sisters decided to make themselves scarce today.
I'm struck by the freckles unevenly distributed along her cheekbones. The dark green blouse she wears makes her red hair glow like the rising sun. She's grown, but her voice is unchanged. It's certainly her. It has to be. Marion MacLeod. As soon as the question leaves my mouth, I fear I may have made her uncomfortable and surprised. Perhaps she does not recognize me. Noticing her inability to shake hands due to the overabundance of packages, I squirm, shake my head, and start to apologize. She straightens up, adjusts her goods, looks me dead in the eye, and extends one hand.
Hi, I'm Marion.
Her handshake is firm. She squints at me, perhaps because of the bright sun. Then her face breaks into a smile.
Malcolm?
She sighs with relief.
You're home!
The wind blows across the familiar face, no longer that of the girl I knew through childhood, but of the woman she's become. She steps towards me as if to offer an embrace, but is too bogged down with groceries to do anything but stare at me, wide-eyed. Her visage is warm and youthful, but her eyes have a maturity beyond their years. The pack is still in one piece, thankfully. How are you, your sisters?
Grace and Jessie, we are still managing to make ends meet on the homestead.
You're still neighbors then, and your parents? I catch myself. Your father. Her mother passed when the girls were young. I should have remembered before I spoke.
Father is still away. He's overseas serving as an officer. We're tending the place ourselves.
Your hands must be quite full with that. She laughs and she shifts her weight again, obviously still struggling under the load.
In more ways than one. I'd better get back to my errands before I drop anything else. It's so wonderful to see you again, Malcolm. Please stop by our home any time. All of us can catch up. It's been too long.
She nods a farewell and turns back toward the fray of the market. Get on the day's errands, it's not your run, girl. You too, Marion. Feel free to visit the farm any time. She's already disappeared back into the crowd. My, how she has changed. You stop and think and realize how much I've changed too. None of us made it through the last few years untouched. Trying times. Despite the hustle and bustle, the vendors' stands are noticeably diminished. I get what I can and make do for the rest. Building supplies, barn tools, a few things for the pantry, and some clothes that do not smell like Grandad's closet. It all goes into the cart, much to Hazel's dismay. The sun is high and the market is finally winding down. Some people are packing their things, about to set off for the long treks home. Others are drifting into the Stag and Nanny to top off the tank before their journey. Probably have time for a pint. Oh yeah. Gonna woo Grace and gonna woo Jessie and then reject her. I'm not too worried about leaving my things with Hazel. There's rarely been any trouble in this little town. I give Hazel a reassuring pat, then leave the sunshine for the comforts of the dark pub. Well, there is just as much smoke haze as last night. It's definitely quieted down some. A few men sit at the bar while a handful of vendors are gathered in the corner playing cards. Back already? Can't get enough of the local brew, eh, lad? Aye, you've worked up quite a thirst. A pint of the dark ale, if you please. Mackey's Pale Ale. I gratefully take the heavy glass and find a quiet table to unwind. The glass is still half empty when I see her walk through the door. The flapper, still dressed to the nines in that revealing red dress. She speaks with Bulgaire, disappears into a back room for a moment, and soon enough is back and ready to take the stage. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, last 3 minutes, y'all. Let's make it count. The Victrola crackles and a song comes on. This time it's not jazz, but a standard. A ballad about heartache and love lost. I drink silently while I watch the girl. Her shoulders move in time with the tune. She twirls in my direction, and I finally smile and wave at the dancer. She nods back, her smooth voice not missing a beat. God, it's good to be back at the Stag and Nanny, even if parts of it are nothing like I remember. Eventually, the girl's song wraps up, and she gives a cheeky bow to her tiny audience before bouncing off to the bar. In no time, she's back on the floor serving drinks to thirsty patrons. I've downed the rest of my pint. It's not long before she's caught my eye and spotted the empty glass. She walks over.
Ready for another, love?
I decide I can manage a second, knowing I will be home soon enough. Much obliged. The flapper sways elegantly over to the bar and returns with the glass overflowing with foam. Placing it on the table, she looks me right in the eye.
I know you.
You do?
I never forget a handsome face.
Are you angling for another drink?
Maybe, yes.
Malcolm. I extend my hand. She grasps it firmly with both of her soft hands.
Jessie, and I do know you. You're Malcolm Campbell.
I raise an eyebrow. Yes, that's me.
Jessie McLeod.
I'm taken aback. In the woman standing before me, there's hardly anything recognizable. The mousy girl I remember from childhood. From next door.
That's right.
It's like she's completely transformed. She looks at me patiently. It occurs to me she probably gets this a lot. Wow, it's been a long time, eh?
Completely.
We stare at each other, smiling. A few seconds pass.
Well, it's great to see you back home in one piece.
Just returned yesterday, and yes, definitely a whole man. I smile, unaware of what to say next. The beer tastes so much better back on Scottish ground. How long has Bulgaria been serving up brew with entertainment? She smiles knowingly.
Almost a year now.
You've been singing here the whole time.
Pretty much. It's been so nice to get out and live a little.
You have a beautiful voice, something I never knew about you.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty you don't know about me.
Well then, you'll have to tell me. It'd be nice to catch up with someone I haven't seen in so long.
You can buy me another drink now if you like.
Of course. She lifts a finger and out of nowhere, Bulgaria sits a gin fizz on the table. He gives me a conspiratorial wink, then disappears again. The sly old fox. Jessie sits down beside me. She sips the cocktail slower than the drink I'd seen her down so quickly last night. Well, I finish my beer. We talk about days past. Things we remember from school. Afternoon games we'd play late into evening. Shared memories no matter how trivial. Say, you don't happen to remember the time the Curie of the circus? Jessie rolls her eyes, chuckling. So you do, eh?
We stared at those flyers in town for weeks on end. It was going to be glorious, and all we got was a mustachioed man on a penny farthing.
He had a name. 1 second, yo. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!